Route 66. Route 66. Focus question. What is the significance of Route 66? Introduction. In 1957, you take the top down on your cherry red convertible. Rock and roll music blasts from the speakers. Ahead of you is nothing but open road. Could this drive get any better? You'd think not, until you pass a 3-story tall ice cream cone covered in sprinkles. Your mouth waters. Should you stop? Wait, there's a cheeseburger the size of a box. Time for a quick lunch instead. When it's time to rest for the night, you park next to your tippy-shaped hotel room. What a spectacular day was on the road. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? This was no imaginary road trip. You've just taken a real road trip down America's favorite highway, Route 66. America's Main Street. Have you ever seen a road map of the United States? It looks a lot like an enormous spiderweb. Huge highways zigzag from coast to coast. They connect nearly every city in between. Getting around is easy. Just jump in a car and hit the road. 100 years ago, driving across the country wasn't quite so easy. Most roads were just small dirt trails. Cars often broke down, got stuck in mud, or popped tires on jagged rockets. In the 1920s, the United States government created a new system of numbered highways to make driving cross-country easier. The first highway to be fully paved stretched 2,400 miles, 3,862 kilometers from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California. Its name was Route 66, but many fondly called it the Main Street of America. America's Main Street was soon put to the test. In 1929, hard times hit the United States. Many banks failed, causing people to lose their savings. A great number of people lost their jobs and homes as well. The period that followed was known as the Great Depression. Meanwhile, a series of droughts, long periods without rain, destroyed many farms. The hardest hit areas were in Kansas, Colorado, Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico. This historic time period was known as the Dust Bowl era. Suddenly, many people were forced to leave their homes to seek a better life elsewhere. Many believed paradise could be found in California. Thousands packed up their belongings and made the long journey west. How did they get there? On a new road named Route 66, the Dust Bowl in literature. The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck is a classic novel published in 1939. It is about a family fleeing Oklahoma during the Dust Bowl era and making the long journey down Route 66 to seek work in California. Steinbeck described Route 66 as the Mother Road and the Road of Flight. On December 8, 1931, the United States entered World War II. Soldiers, workers, and supplies needed to be quickly transported from around the country to military bases in the West. How did they get there? On Route 66, of course. Restaurants, gas stations, and hotels began to spring up along the route to serve these wartime workers. When the war ended in 1945, Americans celebrated. Soldiers came home, started families, and purchased cars. Many wanted to drive their new cars west to see sights like the Grand Canyon by way of Route 66. Route 66 in popular culture. The years after World War II were great days for Route 66. Shiny new cars and yellow checkers cabs crashed up and down the route. In 1946, a song called Route 66 became a top hit. Its most famous line urged listeners to get your kicks on Route 66. This song helped make the highway famous. In 1960, a new TV show called Route 66 followed two friends who drove across the country in a Corvette. They weren't going anywhere in particular. Instead, they were looking for adventures on the road. By 1970, most of the original Route 66 was bypassed by a new highway. However, Route 66 remained part of American popular culture through the end of the country. Fast forward to the year 2000. John Lasseter, the director of Pixar Animation Studios, was driving along Route 66 with his family. He fell in love with the imaginative buildings and colorful art he saw. He decided to turn his experiences into a Disney Pixar movie called Cars, which was released in 2006. Lester sent a team down Route 66 to do research for the movie. Some of the roadside art they found inspired characters in Cars. They used the Route 66 landmark in the movie. For example, the Wigwam Motel in Mulbrook, Arizona became the Cozy Cone Motel. Cars was so successful that many families who saw it decided to take their own vacation along Route 66. This made the route popular again. Roadside attractions. Museums, motels, and shops are found along Route 66 in every state the route passes through. Route 66 is also full of unique art, historic gas stations, and theaters. In addition, travelers can see live shows. For instance, you can see a Native American dance ceremony in New Mexico or a rodeo in Oklahoma. One thing's for sure, you won't be bored on Route 66. Cadillac Ranch. In 1974, some artists buried 10 Cadillacs nose down in a field, rear bumpers sticking straight up toward the sky. Now the cars are every color of the rainbow because visitors have covered them with spray paint. Elmer's Bottle Tree Ranch. Folk artist Elmer Long built Bottle Tree Ranch out of recycled bottles, car parts, and other objects, including Buffalo Joe bones. When the desert wind blows through the open bottles and the air fills with music. Blue Whale. What do you give the woman who has everything? Hugh Davis built his wife an 80-foot, 24.4-meter blue whale for their anniversary. For many years, kids loved to slide and dive from the blue whale's body into the swimming hole below. The land of giants. Route 66 is truly a land of giants. A California factory built thousands of huge fiberglass statues. Businesses along Route 66 used them for advertising. The factory added costumes to turn them into cowboys, Native Americans, astronauts, and even chickens. Many of the biggest statues on Route 66 are food statues. Enormous oranges, donuts, cheeseburgers, and ice cream cones make for a mouth-watering ride. A look out the window near Conisville, Illinois, and you may see the largest ketchup bottle in the world. Dinosaurs by the dozen. On Route 66, you can be greeted by prehistoric creatures of all shapes and sizes. Tiny is likely the large concrete dinosaur in America. He is 150 feet, 45.7 meters long, and lives at a dinosaur park in Cabazon, California. Claudio Bale built the park to attract visitors to his nearby restaurant, the Whale Inn. The dinosaur park became famous. It was even featured in the 1985 movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Saving Route 66. With Route 66's popularity came traffic, lots of it. Heavy traffic caused the highway to deteriorate. From 1956 through the 1980s, new interstates, high-speed highways with many lanes, were built around Route 66. As more travelers took interstates, businesses on Route 66 suffered, and many closed. Peeling paint, faded signs, and boarded-up windows became common sights. In 1999, the United States Congress passed a law to protect Route 66. The government offered money to help businesses and towns pay the cost of preserving important landmarks. Some Route 66 is growing popular again as many return to seek its amusing artwork and creative spirit. The best way to catch the spirit of Route 66 is to drive it. You're sure to have an unforgettable American experience of your own.